Okay, I just woke up and I'm ready for this. We're gonna read some horrifying but also fun stuff today, and I hope you guys are excited. Ignore the fact that I didn't post a video yesterday. It was an illusion. I was here all along. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you subscribe if you want to. And let's get into it. Enjoy, guys. Am I the a-hole for making my pregnant sister-in-law cry when she kept on asking why I changed my name? My brother, 30 male, is married to Haley, 29 female, and they're expecting a baby together. Last year, I, 17 female, officially changed my last name from Evelyn to Indy, which was a nickname from my original middle name. My parents gave in after realizing how serious I was about Indy and how I was not warming up to or growing into Evelyn. My brother and Haley want an older vintage name for their baby, and Haley asked me about 5 months ago why I disliked Evelyn enough to change the name. At the time, she brought up how popular the name has become and how vintage is back. I told her I didn't like vintage names, and to me it sounded really old-fashioned. I told her the popularity didn't influence my decision. She wanted to know my reason for disliking older names and why I liked something like Indy instead. I didn't mind her asking this the first time, but she brought it up again a week later and she asked the same question and then pressed more for why. She asked a third time and a fourth time. I gave her the same answer and I asked her why she kept on asking me. I told her my answer wasn't going to change. By the 7th time that she asked me, she admitted that she was worried that her baby would hate having an older name and wanted to figure out what she could do to prevent what happened with me happening to her. She also said that she'd like me to rethink my name because she thought Evelyn was beautiful and that she was sad that I'd chosen something like Indy. I asked her to stop so many times already, and I even asked my brother to stop her. He told me I needed to understand it was the hormones. I can easily say that she's asked me this more than 25 times by now. I'm not exaggerating with that number. 2 weeks ago when she brought it up again, she felt like I'd made a mistake changing my name and how 30-year-old me wouldn't be so against Evelyn. I told her 30-year-old me can deal with it if that happens. She told me that I didn't really have a good reason to like the name, and Indy seemed like the kind of name that somebody young likes, but not somebody older. Then yesterday happened and I kinda lost my temper. She started out asking the same stuff and the baby is almost ready to be born, so I know it's coming to an end, but she asked me to really think about why and to help her because she couldn't figure out what she'd do differently than my parents did. Then she said that they really shouldn't have let me change my name so young. I snapped and I told her to stop asking me the same question because my answer won't change, and her comments are not changing my mind because I don't like old-fashioned names. I told her I think they're awful and I'm sick and tired of hearing about how much better they are and having her try to make me find a reason that she finds acceptable. I told her that just like she hates Indy, I hate Evelyn and she needs to let it go already. She burst into tears and my brother got so mad at me. My parents were also like, why did I have to speak to her so harshly? So am I the a-hole? What did she expect was gonna happen? You can't badger somebody about something 25 times and then expect them not to get upset with you. Of course eventually OP was gonna snap, like anybody would. Stop bloody bringing it up. The top comment says, I told her just like she hates Indy, I hate Evelyn, and that she needs to let it go already. She burst into tears and my brother got so mad at me. My parents also said, why did I have to speak to her like that? If you reacted like this the very first time that she asked, then you would be a bit of an a-hole. But after months of her asking you the same thing over and over and over, your reaction is justified. I hate that you must understand that it's the pregnancy hormone spill, because being pregnant doesn't give you a free pass to be an a-hole, not the a-hole OP. Yeah, that's completely right, and obviously she is nervous about naming her own child, but that doesn't mean that she can keep on pestering you over and over and over. Of course you're gonna get sick of it. OP said, I was thinking the same. Like being anxious would be one thing, but fighting me over my own name for months is so weird. I know she wants me to change my answer, but I won't. I felt the same way for years. Yeah, the comment below that one, she's projecting. She wants her unborn child to love the vintage name. You hated yours, and somehow in her brain, convincing you to suddenly love your old name would ensure her child to love theirs too, which is madness. Her child is gonna be a unique individual with their own likes and dislikes, just like she is and you are. Hopefully she'll come to realize that she can't just make people be a certain way to match her aesthetic. Yeah, projecting so much. And also this comment, not the a-hole. Pregnancy or not should be testing anybody's patience the way that she's been carrying on. Tell your parents how many times you've had the same disrespectful conversation with her and ask them what they would have done. And tell your brother that you had told him how irritating that she was being and you asked him to tell her to stop, which he didn't. Therefore the situation is as much his fault as hers. And OP said my parents know, they were present every time she asked me. Wow, that makes it so much worse. Yeah, the comment below that one, they should have shut her down the very moment that she started her drama. They could have told her that they had this conversation with you hundreds of times over the years, but you refused to change your mind. It would have hopefully stopped her in her tracks. Yeah, the only reason that they mustn't have said anything OP is because they must agree with her. Why else wouldn't they step in? Yeah, that's so frustrating. Like this other comment says, not the a-hole. She also said that she'd like to rethink my name. This makes her the a-hole. She needs to let it effing go already. This is the only reasonable response. Refuse to discuss it with her anymore. And your brother and your parents need to either shut her up or accept that you'll do it yourself. Yeah, you're not the a-hole, OP. Post number 2 is called, Am I the a-hole for telling my husband that he absolutely ruined the birth of our child? Hi everybody, our daughter is now 8 weeks old, so obviously this whole argument has gone on a very long time. We've both been holding grudges and neither of us think that we're wrong. My husband does not know that I'm posting this, so I'm going to keep it as anonymous as I can. So when I got pregnant with my daughter, my husband started in immediately telling me that I should have a home birth. I really don't know why he was so adamant on it, but he was. At first I brushed him off and I told him that I'd think about it because I was only 6 weeks pregnant and the birth seemed so far off. Of course it came fast and my husband would speak over me at doctor's appointments when my doctor would ask if I had a birth plan. This caused a few arguments between us in those 39 weeks of pregnancy, but I never really changed my mind. Eventually my husband's mother sat down and talked to me and she told me all the reasons why they did not want to go to the hospital for the birth. I expressed my concerns about, safety of the baby and myself, but like my husband, she brushed me off. I ended up telling my husband that I'd take myself to the hospital when it was time and that I did not want a home birth. He acted as if he didn't hear me. We met with a doula who was also very pushy. I felt overwhelmed and not supported at all. I was 36 weeks at that point, so when I went into labor I was 39 weeks and I absolutely begged my husband to take me to the hospital where my doctor is, and he wouldn't. He spoke to me condescendingly and called the doula instead. I was in labor for about 3 days, active labor for the last 22 hours. Why would you want to be with somebody like this? He doesn't sound like he cares about you at all. I cried the whole time. I felt something was wrong. I was scared and oftentimes they left me alone. The doula told me that if active pushing in labor reached 24 hours, I had to go into the hospital. I remember thinking that I could not decide which one was worse, staying in labor for another 2 hours or having my baby right there. When she was finally out, I don't even remember wanting to hold her. I only remember crying out of relief. Obviously, I'm okay now, but I did not have a good experience. On my first appointment after birth with my doctor, she was very shocked that I had the baby. She was concerned. I was so upset. I told my husband that he absolutely ruined it for me. I truly never want to go through that again. I hear mothers say that they forget all the pain the second they have the baby, but I didn't. I love my daughter so much, but it was horrible, and it was entirely his fault. So I sat him down several times. He rolls his eyes every time. Oh my god. This guy sucks. Get rid of him, OP. Do you care at all about your wife, bro? What's wrong with people? This is infuriating. He rolls his eyes and tells me how mothers are strong and how I'm not trying to be strong. Wow, the audacity. I told him that if we ever have another baby, which he wants, that I'll never do a home birth ever again. His response is, we'll see. Oh my god. This is ridiculous. I cannot possibly be the a-hole here, can I? Everybody around me is acting like this is so normal, but it's not, is it? OP, if you have another baby with this guy, you'd be the a-hole. Of course you're not the a-hole. What an absolutely awful partner this guy is. Yuck. I can't believe we just read that. Rolls his eyes and says, oh, we'll see. How dare you, bro? This is not up to you. What a controlling, awful partner. Oh, this is so sad. OP, get the hell away from this guy. The top comment says, this man and his wife are a clear danger to you and your child. The comment below that says, if this is true, take the baby and run. The comment below that one says, you're dramatically underreacting. Personally, I'd press charges. I hope you learn to love yourself enough to leave. The comment below that says, not the a-hole, you're not his wife, you're his incubator. This is insane. Mothers are strong, you're not trying to be strong. And just like that, he's blind to her humanity. Get out, OP. Yeah, could not agree more. This guy is terrible. We read about awful stuff every day, but this is really bad. The complete lack of concern and complete lack of any human emotion, really. He does not care about OP. This comment says, you the a-hole if you even contemplate having another baby with this man. Are you crazy? He didn't care one iota about what you wanted, or your comfort, or your safety. He just wanted what he wanted, and he'll do it again. Personally, I would have gone straight home to my family until after the baby was born. The second that his mother and the doula rocked up and started pitching in with an opinion, OP left a comment that said, thank you very much for this comment. I'm severely overwhelmed with a screeching baby, but I really do appreciate the kindness. My husband is not a horrible person. He is very far from perfect, but he's not horrible or evil. Even if he was, I cannot leave my marriage. I've said this in another comment, but I've got absolutely nothing, and I can't give my daughter that and feel okay about it. I was in college before I got pregnant the first time, and then he made me stop. I was so close to finishing. It was just an associate, so he didn't even care, but nobody in my family had gone to college before, so I was so proud of it. I tried to finish online recently, but he keeps dismissing it. OP, he stopped you from finishing your college stuff? What do you mean he's not horrible? Everything you're saying here leads to him being horrible. My husband and his family own a type of commercial business that I know nothing about. I know nothing and I have nothing, which he reminds me often 10. This guy's emotionally abusive. I posted this thinking that maybe 10 people would see it and support me, but now I'm terrified. He's never been extremely physical with me, but I know that he could be, and has shown that in lesser and different ways. I did not want to be pregnant either time. I've just been thinking him the best. I guess I still do because I can't leave. I'm useless in every way except being a mum, and I can't fail at that too. Oh my god, I hope this isn't real. If this is real, it's so sad. He's brainwashed you, OP. The comment below that says, my husband is not a horrible person. Yes, he is. Please listen. No good person does this to their wife. I'm begging you to take it serious. I'm literally useless in every way except being a mum. That's not true. The comment below that says, oh my god, I wish I could give you the biggest auntie hug in the world right now. You're not useless. Your abusive husband just wants you to think that you are. You're strong, and that looks different in every single person. You were wronged severely, and you're still here looking for ways to take care of your family. I'm honestly in awe of you. I don't know what you can do now. It sounds like a brutal situation, but don't give up on yourself. You're so much more than your husband is allowing you to be, and you're so young. Your life is just beginning, and you have so much further to go. I hope you know that you deserve a love like what you've seen in some of these comments, and if strangers can offer it to you over the internet, I'm 1000% sure that there's a man out there willing to give you even more. Once you're ready, yeah, please get as far away from this guy as you can, OP. I can't believe what we just read. The next one's called, am I the gay hoe for telling my mother-in-law that she can never visit us or my sister-in-law again? My sister-in-law Alice is a single mum. She had her first child at 16 and her second by 19. Alice lived with her parents but was often mistreated by my mother-in-law Pat. My mother-in-law is a mean, petty woman. She wore a light beige dress to my wedding, and anything I do isn't good enough. My grandmother died and I inherited a double condo townhouse. My husband and I moved into one, and the tenants next to us moved out about 6 months ago. Alice was having a hard time, so I told my hubby if she could keep it nice, she could move in. Alice works part-time and is going to orthodontics assistant schooling. She's not a troubled person that my mother-in-law makes her out to be. In 6 months, she hasn't even been a problem, and the boys are now 7 and 4, so not bad children, just boys. They remind me of my cousins. My mother-in-law was visiting Alice, and the 7-year-old was outside playing and knocking over a planter on my side. Not a big deal. My mother-in-law screamed at him and called him a little N-word because he's a mixed child. What the hell? I was so angry at her. I told my mother-in-law to leave the property and not to come back to visit ever. Yeah, what? My sister-in-law was in shock but cried, saying that her mum often spoke to the 7-year-old like that. I told my husband, and he thinks that we overreacted to his mum. Wow. And his mum just isn't used to children playing rough because they weren't allowed to. That's not an excuse. I told my husband that ball bouncing is not rough playing. It's an accident. And his mother's language was inexcusable under any circumstances. So for the boy's mental health, that woman is not allowed over. His whole family said that I'm being dramatic. Oh god. And Alice has the habit of over-exaggerating everything, but I heard for myself what his mother said, and in 6 months of Alice living in the next condo to us, she has never given me the reason not to trust her, or to think that she's an unfit mother or a bad person. Update, my mother-in-law is still insisting that she didn't say that, and that I misheard her. My husband and I are still arguing over it, because he thinks that because his mum said it in anger because the child broke something expensive. I don't think that's a valid reason to say that to a child or anybody ever. No, of course it's not, OP. That's awful. And there's no excuse for what she said. That's so messed up. Your husband is completely wrong here, OP. And the whole family that are saying that you're being dramatic, they can get the hell out of here. You're not being dramatic, OP. Your mother-in-law is bad, but she's also racist. And your husband standing up for that isn't good. The top comment says, not the a-hole. I don't think mean and petty is enough to describe your mother-in-law. Your mother-in-law is also racist. I can't imagine screaming slurs at a child for an accident. OP, keep this woman away from you, your sister-in-law, your nephews, and your husband, because this woman is somebody that you shouldn't be around. Edit, I missed the fact that your husband said that you're overreacting to this. That's insane that he thinks that, and leads me to have certain thoughts about him. Edit 2, OP, I'd start looking at your husband a certain way because of his insistence on defending his mum saying racial slurs to a 7-year-old. There's no way that you can mishear that word. The gaslighting is wild. What's crazy is that the item that was broken was yours, and you're not losing your mind over it. Yeah, also this comment. First of all, not the a-hole. Second of all, what's wrong with your husband? Yeah, and also this one too. Not the a-hole. It sounds like the family that you're married into are very accustomed to how your mother-in-law acts. So much so that they find it normal. It's not normal, and it'll take them a long time to realize it. Yeah, and also this comment. Not the a-hole. The mother-in-law is garbage. No excuses for speaking to a child that way. Ever. Keep her away. Keep protecting Alice and the boys. You're a very kind person. Thank you for existing. Yeah, it's so good that you're there, OP. You are so not the a-hole. Post number 4 is called, am I the a-hole for offering cash instead of my labor for a wedding gift? I'm a hobby baker. I've gifted cakes to family and friends before, but I'm very firm about not taking orders. It's not enjoyable to me and would not be a profitable endeavor unless I was pursuing it as a career. These gifts are typically for birthday parties, and the gift receiver gives me a size and a very general idea of what they want it to look like, and I honor that in my own style and ability. A cousin approached me about doing her wedding cake as your wedding gift to us. After a brief discussion, I confirmed that it would be not a good fit. After she persisted in arguing the reasons that I offered, I switched tactics and I offered to pay $250 towards her cake order placed with somebody else. The amount came from it being the maximum that I would have considered spending on her gift. She took a lot of offense at this, saying she can afford a cake, and I was implying that she approached me because she can't. When I said I hadn't meant anything by it, but that was my budget for a gift, she said that that would barely cover a deposit for the kind of cake that she wanted. Yeah, well, there you go. Like the top comment says, not the a-hole. She said herself that $250 wouldn't even cover the deposit for the kind of cake that she wanted. She wants you to bake a cake that's hundreds of dollars more than what you're willing to spend on a wedding gift that we can all assume would have to be meticulously decorated based on her vision. It's not going to be perfect to her in the end anyway. You're dodging a raging migraine with this one from what I can tell. Yeah, and this comment too, not the a-hole. She's mad that you implied that she couldn't afford a cake, and then was also mad that you didn't offer to cover the kind of cake that she wanted. Also, who the hell feels comfortable asking a cousin for $1,000 plus wedding gift? Yeah, does she not realize that you have to pay for the ingredients and stuff? Yeah, this comment too, not the a-hole. If $250 would barely cover the deposit, then this person is asking a lot of you, and they seem to be misunderstanding the meaning of a gift. It's something that's offered freely, not demanded. Yeah, you don't tell other people what they're gonna gift to you. Yeah, the audacity of the cousin. Also, this one too, $250 would barely cover the type of cake that she wants. That tells you all you need to know. I can only imagine the kind of cake cousin expected you to do for free. My gut tells me that she cannot afford the type of cake that she wants. Yeah, same here, surely she can't. But expects OP to make it for free? You're so not the a-hole, OP. God, that's so frustrating. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my in-laws stay with us after they trashed my house last time? So here's the situation. A couple of years ago, my wife's female 34 brother John, male 36, and his wife Sarah, female 35, were having a bit of a rough patch and needed a place to stay for a few weeks while they figured things out. My wife, being the caring person that she is, asked me, male 37, if they could stay with us temporarily, and I agreed because family is family, right? Well, the few weeks turned into nearly 4 months. During that time, they completely took advantage of our hospitality. John treated our house like it was his personal man cave, leaving trash everywhere and never helping with the chores. Sarah wasn't much better. She kept on borrowing stuff from our kitchen and bathroom without even asking, and never replaced anything. Our guest room seemed like a tornado hit it when they finally left. The worst part? They had 2 kids, 5 and 7 at the time, and while I get that kids can be a handful, they were out of control. They would run through the house at all hours, break stuff, and scream over every little disagreement. My wife and I repeatedly asked John and Sarah to rein their kids in, but it always fell on deaf ears. After they moved out, it took us weeks to clean up the mess they left behind, and we even had to replace some broken furniture. My wife apologized and we agreed that we wouldn't do that to ourselves again. Fast forward to now, and John and Sarah are once again having issues, and they asked if they could stay with us for a little while they figured things out again. My wife immediately said yes, but I put my foot down and said absolutely not. I reminded her of the disaster that was their last day, and I told her I was not willing to go through that again, especially since they hadn't apologized or even acknowledged how bad they treated our home the last time. My wife's upset, saying that I'm being heartless and that family comes first. She thinks I should give them another chance and says I'm overreacting, but I feel like I'm just setting boundaries. We've got 2 kids of our own, and I don't want them to have to deal with the chaos that John and Sarah always seem to bring. Now my wife is giving me the cold shoulder. Oh, that's hilarious. And her family thinks I'm the bad guy for not helping out in a time of need. So am I the a-hole for refusing to let my in-laws stay with us after they trashed my house the other time? Of course you're not the a-hole, OP. Your wife is so in the wrong. Oh my god, that's so infuriating, giving you the cold shoulder, saying that you're being heartless. Get the hell out of here. Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole, of course. What in the world is wrong with your wife? Does she routinely make choices that are going to affect you without consulting you? I can't even imagine being so thoughtless towards my spouse. And OP said she often never consults me about choices that do involve me. That's one of the things that annoys me the most. Oh my god, that's infuriating. Yeah, like that comment said, I can't imagine being so thoughtless to my spouse. But no, you're being heartless. What a joke. Oh, that's so bad. Giving you the cold shoulder like you're the one who's done something wrong. Oh, sorry, I don't want these ungrateful people to come and trash my house. Oh, just kidding. I'm not sorry. It's completely fine to not want that to happen. You've got a family too, OP. This comment says, not the a-hole. You mutually agreed that this wouldn't happen again, and she decided to break that agreement by offering them a place to stay. It's your home too. She's in the wrong. OP said, I think I may have to show her this. Yeah, do it, OP. She's in the wrong. Yeah, like the comment below that says, I really think you should. She's way out of line, going back on what you agreed and giving a full green light without even speaking to you first. Treating your spouse like that is not okay. Yeah, I feel like it would definitely help if you did show her OP. If she keeps on thinking that you're in the wrong here, that's not gonna help anything. Yeah, good luck, OP. That's so frustrating. And that's enough for today. We need to read something wholesome ASAP. This one's by Nathan Pyle. I make my little sandwich, I place it on a shelf, and when it's time to eat it, I thank my morning self. Thank you. Oh, that's so cute. And I like the red background too, or like the pink background. Thank you, me from the past. I really appreciate this. Also, I like how on their computer it has an alert for the sandwich, like they turned on a sandwich alarm or something. That's so cute. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you had a wonderful time today. And if you did, make sure you subscribe if you want to. And the comment of the day goes to FrostTouch1997. The best part of listening to Vincey is hearing him get so indignant with all the insanity and knowing that we're all out here feeling just as indignant. Yeah, it's so funny. Like, oh my god, are you hearing this? Are you reading what I'm reading, guys? How infuriating is this? Yeah, it's so funny, and I really appreciate the comment, and I appreciate you guys joining me for the episodes. It makes me feel so much better that I'm not reading this stuff alone. And yeah, thank you for the support, and I'll see you in the next episode. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!